everyone, welcome to Marianne's Mystic Inventions. I'm Marianne. Welcome to your May readings. I am going to do a quick little intro. I am a longtime psychic intuitive tarot reader, and I'm a very, very enthusiastic compatibility astrologist, which I've studied since I was 12. If anybody's watched me to this point, a boyfriend of mine told me I was a Libra, and I have been delving and interested in studying and doing readings ever since. So welcome to my channel. Now I am going to say a couple of things right off the bat. If you're new, welcome to my sacred space. I absolutely love doing readings. I love sharing the information that comes through spirit, through my intuition, and through the beautiful divinations that I use. And I switch up each month. I do want to say I do one reading a day generally, so it's not, by mid-month, if things go well, I'm able to have finished them, which I love. Sometimes you can then see what's happened or already transpired and kind of connect the dots and see if there's that connection or, I can't even think of the word right now because of a lot of reasons, but I think you know what I mean. And then also I like it because it also will, the readings go in through the whole month. So no matter when you watch it, it's perfectly fine. And May is May. It involves the whole month. There's a lot of beautiful astrological influences and powerful things that are actually affecting my brain right now, in all honesty. I'll run over them quickly. I do want to also say my featured sign for today, in case you are not aware and you're not, following me, is as I go around the zodiac wheel, I start with Aries, I end with Pisces, is the beautiful air sign and justice-seeking, fair, Venus-ruled sign of Libra. And air is about the mind and expression and communication and, education, anything having to do with the mind. What's interesting about that is, as I run off just a few of the very important, potent energies, as I mentioned, of the month, we started with the remnants of the new solar eclipse moon in Taurus on April 30th. So it was the day just before May started. So that influence will actually affect us throughout May and then months to come. Eclipses will affect us far stronger than a normal new moon or full moon. And the fact that it's in Taurus is actually pretty good for you, Libra, because they too are ruled by Venus. So there's that harmonizing kind of complementary energy right off the bat. Venus, of course, affects us in beautiful ways. A very feminine planet, very much about love, magic, money, art, creativity, beauty, inward, outward, absolute intimacy, sensuality. And Taurus is a very sensual sign, and they're grounded, they're an earth sign, and they're very practical, and they like to really plant the seeds of long-term investments and connections and relationships and successful endeavors, really. And you are a cardinal sign, Libra, so you initiate the season of fall. And it's kind of interesting because fall represents half the day being light and half being dark, as opposed to a lot more light in the summer or a lot more dark in the winter. And there's that balance again. The scales is what you represent as the archetype, as well as the justice, the one of fairness and justice and equality, and recognizing there are more than one side to any circumstance, and a strong pull towards relationships. Well, speaking of which, then we had on the 10th, which was yesterday, Mercury officially going into retrograde. We had the shadow period before, so I think a lot of us, myself included, were noticing little signs and signals that Mercury retrograde in particular, will always bring. It is about difficulty with words and communication, and if it's written even, sending an email, and it's happened already a couple times, in text. Because of my work as a massage therapist, I have an appointment book, but I also do it online and with the website and so forth. And it's just been, I have to really, really be on my toes. So that's something to really consider. And I mean, if you do make a mistake, yes, they're always able to be fixed. but you don't want to cause too much, confusion, because that's already in the mix anyway. Then you have transportation. So transportation can be a little strange. For a few examples, for me, I always notice as I'm taking my path to work, which I'll alternate a little bit, but mostly the same because I don't work that far. It is usually there's road work being done, or you want to make sure your car is in top shape. There might be something that comes up. If it does, you definitely need to take care of it. But a lot of times, ironically, people in this time frame of the Mercury retrograde want to usually get a new car or look into it. And you can look into it. You can do all the due diligence and you can find out all the fine details. That's what retrogrades are great for. It frees up time to be studying or looking or doing things you wouldn't normally do, because schedules change, I promise you. It's just the way that it works. And then lastly, it does have a lot to do with what did I say? I said transportation, communication, technology. Oh my gosh, of course. So I'm doing a reading a day, and the last one I did was Virgo, and I recorded it on Monday, and that would be 2 days ago, and it finally uploaded this morning. And that was with me deleting and re-uploading and deleting but I know when I can see immediately that there's an issue, and it is because of the powerful, powerful influence that the planets do have on us. Sometimes it's going to be more for me, for example, as an air sign during a Mercury retrograde that's in an air sign. And because there have been other retrogrades that, yes, I've noticed little things. And the ones I'm speaking of today are also in my mind little. I've had way bigger. But the funniest things that are annoying, and you're like, oh my gosh, I know this. So, and I keep notes and I keep a little log for the different retrogrades. But a couple other examples real quick is I had a client that I worked with outside of hours last night because I haven't seen her. She needed some extra help. I was happy to do it. And I used my phone in my new place as my music because it doesn't have wireless. And so I usually had a little tablet with a wireless speaker. Well, that's not happening. So I used my phone, and I had it when I went to work. And as soon as I saw her between then and getting into the room, my phone just disappeared from the face of the earth. It was like, where could it possibly be? So of course it showed up after the fact. And then today I was at work, and we have a system where we lock the doors behind us at work. It just is safer all around. And I was talking to my client and saying goodbye, and I stepped outside and the door locked behind me. I was like, what? I know better, but these are the things that are going to come up. And so I'm hoping that the videos will continue to upload, even if it takes extra long. Because as I said, the messages coming through for all of us will be pretty prominent for months to come. Because here's the other thing. On the 16th, which is next Tuesday, I believe. That's not true. The 16th will be Monday. So the 15th in some places, like in Europe, we may have this backwards. And then the 16th in other places, I believe it is backwards. United States, Northern Hemisphere it'll be late on the 15th, which is a Sunday. And then the early morning will be in the UK and Europe. So having said all that, just kind of want to keep you in real time what's going on. And so Libra. I plan on reading the 4 cards that represent each week of this month. I will finish with 2 beautiful oracle messages and a rune. And of course, I'll pick your love connection that Spirit wants you to know about, and love of all forms, any kind of love, friendship, committed relationship you're in, maybe for those of you who are single, people coming into your life in May, and definitely work partnerships are big. I forgot to say this, and I knew I would, but it's so important. The same day yesterday that Mercury went retrograde, we had Jupiter change signs from Pisces into Aries. So, bam! That's all I have to say about that. If you have any Aries placement or fire placement, you should and probably will feel it more. It happens every 12 years where Jupiter will visit our sign. It is a fantastic, beautiful, lucky, expanding time for things to be created, and certainly with the cardinal aspect of an Aries. Aries is the polar opposition sign to you, Libra. So it's going to be very, very lit up in your house of relationships. And that could be, like I said, all kinds, once again, and things new friends coming into the picture, new partnerships in work that can last for the next 12 years and onward. And so I feel really excited about it. I do want to say that yes, the Mercury retrograde may slow down some of this progression, but it's still absolutely happening. And Jupiter will be in Aries from May 10th to October 28th, when it dips back into Pisces from the end of October 28th to the 20th of December, and then back in Aries all the way through May 16th. So I'm really excited. I'm excited for you. I'm excited because I too am a Libra, and because I love friendships and I love connections, and I missed out on so much of that in the last couple of years. It really affected me the most in that realm. So moving on, let's pick and see what Spirit, I should say, would like you to know, and who is picked for you with the guidance of Spirit always for the beautiful sign of Libra during the month of May. Who specifically will be your love connection? What is the inference here? And it doesn't have to be an actual person. It could be just the energy you're feeling extremely connected to, and you're feeling that resonance. So, right on the cusp. I've got to do it again. It's between Virgo and Leo. And they're both fabulous. Now, like I said, I just did Virgo's reading on Monday. But Virgo, the moon has been in Virgo. And it will leave Virgo at 2:05 early in the morning, and then it goes into your sign, Libra. Let's try it one more time. So I can see where you'd be picking up. And it's right next to you in the zodiac sign. So there's always that simpatico kind of energy when we're right next to the sign before or after us. We kind of just get each other, you know, and we pick up and learn a lot from each other. That went right in the middle. Whoa, it's right here, but I'm going to use that because it was on that side of it. And this has come up quite a bit. It's interesting to me. And it's Capricorn. Well, Capricorn is in the picture as well, because we've had Pluto in Capricorn for a while, and it still is in Capricorn. However, Pluto went retrograde on April 29th and will stay there in retrograde until October 8th. So September, end of September to the end of October is your time, Libra. So that's an interesting little, you know, synchronicity right there. It tells me, because cardinal sign also being Capricorn, ruler being Saturn, which is all about, you know, restriction and just eye on the prize. Capricorns are extremely interested in success. They're the archetype of a couple things. They are the goat, and a goat is known for being very sure-footed and climbing the highest of mountains without any hesitation, because all they want to do is get to the top and the other side. Well, that's a metaphor for how, you know, Capricorns live their life. They are all success-driven. They're usually extremely successful in whatever they do. A lot of them are entrepreneurs. They run their own businesses. They have a kind of a little more solemn energy a lot of times, you know. They're definitely background kind of energies. Not all the time. They can be amazing actors, I've known, and I'm sure you could look it up and see who are the Capricorns. I could think of a couple, but I just want to say that they are extremely hardworking and extremely dedicated to their cause, and very, very resourceful and interested in huge success. You know, nothing stops them. They'll work tirelessly. I would say that probably, in a lot of ways, from what I've studied and the readings I've done over the years in compatibility, it does affect a relationship if the other person isn't understanding from the get-go that that's going to be like that. And really, in a relationship, it only is because this wonderful Capricorn wants the most and the best for those that they love. They are very loyal. They care greatly about people, and they're long-term kind of friends, co-workers, partners, and romantic, you know, partners, because they take it seriously, you know. And I think that's important, because I know as a Libra, I can be serious, but I don't really like to be that much. And I have one planet that's in an earth sign, which is Virgo. So I appreciate the grounded aspect of just hardworking work ethic, and, you know, I guess stability is a really good word for most every earth sign I've ever known. And I think that's good for you too. Now, you could have earth in your chart as well, specifically Capricorn. And you could also just be really feeling this Pluto retrograde, which Pluto is about transformation. And that leads me a great segue into the fact that we're having our second of the series of eclipses. They always run in pairs. The full moon lunar eclipse in Scorpio, which is going to, as I said, happen. That's super intense and super sexual and mysterious and extremely prone to bringing out truth, okay? Truth of ourselves, truth of what we need to face and improve, you know, because we're self-critical a lot of times, or maybe we're hearing from other people. I would hope you wouldn't be driven by that per se as much as how you know what's right for you, and don't ever kid yourself if possible. I've done this a lot in my life, and it doesn't lead to anywhere that's necessarily for the highest good. So it's a reminder about that as well. But I see it as being particularly having to do with work and, you know, great partnerships, a really steady long-term investment in a great relationship that can, you know, really help and turn your life around, because that is exactly what the Capricorn energy would want to do. And so I'll be curious to see. Now, if you're not familiar with any Capricorn, it could be a family member, it could be a friend, and somebody that could be coming into your life, because these retrogrades always bring people back in our life, or you know, for the first time. So do let me know if you would be so kind. I would love that. If you like what you're seeing here and you feel good, and I know that a lot of you are returning, and I love you for that, please do push the like button and the subscribe and even the notification bell, excuse me, because I don't know exactly when I upload, especially now with the retrograde issues going on. That won't last forever, and I'll keep uploading until they do upload, so I'm not going to stop. But I just really love and appreciate your support. I really do. And what's interesting is I've been watching readers well before I decided to do a channel, and I put that off a long time too. So if you're having that feeling, don't do it. Love yourself. But I want to say is, I mean, I was watching Minopon when he was in his room with his regular playing cards, and then the last couple of years he just shot up there. He's like, what, 700,000 viewers now. I respect and appreciate him. And then there's Gemstone Tarot. She's always been so awesome, and I love her, and she's just like over 100,000, whatever. But there's so many more readers, so the fact that you would take the time to be here, I greatly appreciate. I really do. I'm humbled by it, but I'll come anyway, regardless. And yes, I would like to do personal readings, and if you're interested, let me know, because there's a couple of ways to find out about that, and that's something I'm wanting to pursue and really make happen, as I've said a few times on my channel. And then I had a few realistic things happen that kept me from doing it. However, I'm in Aries. We're in Aries energy now with Jupiter, and it expands and it grows, and it gives you that strength and momentum and impulsive type of energy. Like, I'm doing it. It's happening, you know. And if I have to get help, of course, and I would love to. If you know of anybody, you can let me know that too. How to get these just cooler ways to add the links and all that sort of thing. It would be fantastic. Libra, I do feel a real sense of emerging coming up. I really do. I feel like a lot of us have been, you know, there's been an oppression for obviously the world. I just feel like there were stops and starts, and during the retrograde, I'm not asking you to just forget everything we've talked about and, you know, just push through it like that Aries would do. Just study it and really believe in what you're wanting to, and have that complete faith and trust in your abilities, because you can make anything come true. You really can. You just have to be, you know, diligent and persevere, which is what I believe that Capricorn is trying to say. And I also know that a lot of Libras are all of that and then some anyway. As a cardinal sign, you definitely want to keep things going. You're very dedicated. You're very hard workers. And so let's see what the energies are saying for you with this beautiful deck, the Light Seers deck. And as I said, if you want to hang out, I've got the beautiful couple of oracle messages and the rune. So the first week coming in, we've already just passed. Let's see what happened. We are still in Taurus season. We will have the Gemini new moon on the 30th. This is going to be gorgeous because it's very compatible with you as well. New moons are about instigations. It's not quite out of the retrograde yet, which is in Gemini, as I mentioned, your fellow air sign. And then it will go back into Taurus for the last week. And it's officially over on June 3rd. But then, like I said, there will be a little bit of a shadow period for it to start its momentum, get back to full speed. Lots happening. Oh my, this is exact position of Virgo. See, that's interesting. And here you got the earth energy, and you might want to watch Virgos. I'm not sure why I'm saying that, but 8 of Swords starting the month. So this makes sense. It wasn't in the exact, I apologize. I know now it was in the second position. I'm seeing it now in my mind's eye. But here you are. Here you are, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius. Here we are in our minds, right? Oh, thinking this and that, and oh, but I've got to do this, and I'm worried about that, but what if that happens? I'm not sure. I think I thought about that. I will have to recheck. I mean, it's crazy, and worries, concerns, right, that we build and bring upon ourselves. I got to be honest with you. I'm pretty much letting that go. I'm not saying they don't come in my mind. They most certainly do, but they leave almost faster than they came in because I don't have the time. I'm not interested in feeding those thoughts. I'm not, and that's the best thing, is we have that ability. This is self-inflicted worries and concern, ideas in our minds that we are stuck in some way. Oh, I can think of things to refer to that in my life. I'm sure you can. But remember, there's always solutions. There absolutely always are. And what I love is with this Aries energy, we're excited to find those solutions, and the challenges are kind of bring it, you know. I'm going to get through it. I locked myself out of the business, got back in. Small reference, you know, but yeah, they're going to come. They're always going to come, and they build us. They reassure that we do have the capability and the wherefore, because yes, we are good at thinking and, you know, coming up with solutions. We just don't want to overdo it and get to a point where we think that we are, for any reason, stuck past a point that we can't find the resolution. So that was happening in the first week, and so we're actually in the second. And yeah, we've had the, you know, Mercury retrogrades, I think, or if I didn't say it already, which I might have, usually the worst the day before, the day of, and then the last day and the day after. So just something to keep in mind too when you really feel it. Other than that, you just adapt. And like I said, flexibility is a key word. Allowing for the changes and the reschedules and stuff, for other things to come through, and being aware what they are, and taking the time during that time to do something else that maybe matters more, or even just resting. Plan a vacation. If you're on a vacation, you're going on a vacation, it's great. Just double check your itinerary, because there could be delays and things that will be out of your control. But if you go with the feeling of, que sera, sera, what will be, it's going to be a lot easier. And it just vacations are pretty good to do, I would say, during the retrogrades, for sure. So that's interesting. Let's see what the second week, which is this week, is bringing. There you go, the Ace of Wands. Woo! You get out of your head, and then there comes the Aries energy, which we just got into, and I mean big time Aries energy. And it's about beginnings. The Ace is always the start, right? But it's powerful, and it's allowing us to create and manifest in huge ways this year with Aries now with Jupiter now in Aries. I feel it as I'm speaking it. It's down to my toesies, and I honestly, regardless if you have any kind of Aries placement, that's what the energy will do. And you know, it was just in Pisces. Pisces is phenomenal. I also have Pisces placement, and I appreciated so much the healing energy as I was going through my surgery and recovery, which was so phenomenally done and almost miraculous to me during the time of Pisces, Jupiter and Pisces. And we still have Neptune and Pisces, and there's going to be quite a bit of energy still happening in Pisces. And then once again, when it comes back, Jupiter comes back into Pisces. But there is a definite difference, but there's a lot of creativity involved. And I think that Aries are demonstrative and spirited and, you know, very like childlike in a lot of ways, where they think, let's do this, let's start that. They're the first sign of the zodiac. This is the ace, this is the beginning, this is trying something new and seeing where it goes, and having that faith and hope and, you know, and trust and making it happen. So that's a beautiful change from the Eight of Swords and the Wands being so perfectly, you know, the fire. So what's interesting too is, you know, Aries is ruled by Mars, which is a very masculine energy. Actually, Libra is known as being masculine, but they're also ruled by Venus, so that makes that balance again. They're a masculine sign because of being an air sign, which is about the mind, but they're ruled by Venus, which is extremely feminine. So there we have the constant balance that's always being strived, or I am always striving for as a Libra. Doesn't mean it's always there, but it's always so much better when it is balanced. You know, your work life, your home life, your friends, all of that. It's a lot. We all do it on a daily, but with Libra, it's essential that it be balanced. So it's always something that they're thinking of and working towards. Third week. That's going to start this, the, you know, solar eclipse that will last for a very long time in the sign of Scorpio. So deep depth, historically ruled by Mars, now by Pluto. I mean, talk about, you know, death, rebirth, and then rising again. Just the phoenix is the whole, you know, idea of the Scorpio, and just releasing and letting go things that this is the south node that we're speaking of. The north node is in the Taurus, which was as I mentioned, the first eclipse on April 30th. So north, just think of it being, you know, where we're going and bettering ourselves in our life plan and path. And then the south is a lot of times things we want to release and let go, you know, patterns that weren't doing us well. There's a high energy and a low energy in everything and everyone and all, you know, astrology signs. And of course, Scorpio has phenomenal, beautiful energies. They're psychic and they're intuitive and they're sensitive, like I said, and they're water and they're empathic and they feel so deeply. And that's going to be a part of this for you. It's also in your second house, Libra. So that could be with Venus and Aries involved. It could be, well, it's 8th house with Scorpio. That's other people's money. It could be inheritance. It could be windfalls. I mean, play the lottery just a little bit, just to see. Why not? Everybody's got to win. If you don't play, you don't win. And I feel that something really big is going to transpire for you. And you have a lot of the energies working in your favor to back that up. Just make sure you don't get over emotional. It's hard not to. Moons will do that anyway. You've got the judgment. And that has to do, as I said, that would be the full moon. But what I love about this depiction is a beautiful woman just looking up and saying, I surrender and release and I allow. And then you see this beautiful silhouette, you know, like a spiritual entity releasing herself from the body. And that's what judgment means. It's not just about a decision made, which of course it is, and it's a finalized, it could be karmic and something that was bestowed upon you that wasn't even necessarily in your hands. It was something that was destined for you. But it's a beautiful feeling. It's like from the ashes, once again, you were born, and now you've made these changes and these transformations, and you're welcoming it, and you're becoming this new, yet another new part of who you are. You know, a whole new part of you is coming through and emerging, as I said earlier, I think, and just allowing it. You know, it's what's supposed to be. Don't restrict that. Don't confine yourself from thinking you have to be a certain way for anybody except for yourself. but I see you wanting to make some changes and transformations. I know with my health, it was pretty crazy because I'm a healthy person, and when you have something that affects you and you still pursue it, which I did, but it was hard. It got harder and harder, and now it's not like that again. So that's my metamorphosis. That's that karmic thing that I waited, but now is my time for it to yet change and allow me to live life to the fullest again. You know, it's just all such miraculous stuff, and I want it. And so we can be an active participant in allowing that and creating that for ourselves. I love that judgment for the time of the lunar eclipse. And more truths will be coming through as this plays out throughout the months. And I don't know about you, but I absolutely love the truth. Okay, and there's my truth and yours. I get that, but there really is a fundamental truth that this is speaking of. Okay, so final week, and that's going to be that new moon. It's a powerful month, and it can be so fantastic in so many ways. And if things are bothering you, just take time to take your breath, get into nature, please. Just stop. I get on my, what am I saying here? Stationary bike. Boy, that helps. It just releases all this feeling that I know that's in there, because sometimes it's overwhelming and it has to get out, you know, and that's a great way too. Walking, whatever it may be for you. Yoga's phenomenal. Good old meditation, certainly deep breaths. And for you, the final week card is the Five of Wands. Not surprised, but I love this depiction as well, because the wands of fire. The wands are different ways of going about it, and you know, people all have their own opinions, and it's like, but what about this way? But in this, it can the words are not coming. It can make you feel as though there's more confrontation and more of that, you know, anxious kind of energy, and yeah, the Mars energy, where it's like, ooh, I kind of lost my temper there a little bit. Not everybody's going to get along with everybody, and not everybody's going to agree with what everybody says in this picture, in this beautiful deck. It actually shows more of an interest in unity and working together, you know, even though we have our differences, and still making it work, because of course that's a doable thing too. I thrive at making that happen in situations, because I'm actually in something like that, but it's very minor. It's just people come from different places, they were raised differently, they have different values, different ways that they see things, and so coming together, it's kind of a beautiful work of art. And this is what I love about this. You've got the fire, you've got the one guy holding the torch, kind of maybe leading the brigade. Everyone kind of going, okay, well, I'll do part of that, and then I'll add this, and then there's that beautiful web, which we're all connected to, right? So, yeah. And I also see it as being just still standing up for what you feel and believe. Just don't get too upset about anything if possible, and let it just roll off your back like the water off a duck, because you may regret something, which I would find very unusual, to be honest, because even in my most angry state, it's usually not where I lash out. It's something I feel within that I need to internalize and then work through. Everyone's different. And not to say I've not lashed out in my life. Of course I have, but that's been a long time now. I never feel that that's the way I feel I need to, you know, solve anything for myself. I just don't go there. But, you know, sometimes it's important to actually really, really bring out and not internalize. So don't take my advice on that. You know, I'm working on that too. So I love this. I honestly do. You've got absolute fire. You've got motivation. You've got, I would say, more clarity, absolutely, and the willingness to allow and go with the flow. And, you know, I see this as kind of water for some reason. I mean, I just do, and it's perfect for the water element of Scorpio. That's very prominent, and I'm already feeling that anyway. And then you've got yourself, of course. because you started the month and you were thinking, oh my, okay, so like myself, I'm in a new place at work and I'm just kind of figuring out what's really happening there, and so far so good. It's going to be okay. There are differences, so, but I think it's all going to be wonderful. I'm so grateful to have the place. It came together very well. I did it before the retrograde, way before, and yeah. If you're not feeling this right now, you can definitely check your moon, your rising, and even your Venus placements. But things like that could come up. And like I said, you may have felt, excuse me, you may have felt the first week, because now we're going on the second, about this oppression and this feeling in your mind that, oh my God, I'm stuck. And it's probably completely gone. You've already gone into this energy of Aries, which I love. That's what I really do like when I'm not necessarily on that particular week, because the energy and the messages are still going to come through. Now, you do have that major arcana. Where's the major arcana? You do not have a major judgment. Yes, you do. And that's the universe really speaking to you, saying, oh, I want you to be very aware of this message. Okay, take it in and let it marinate. And so now I'm going to read your oracle as I promised. And this is the beautiful Wisdom of the Hidden Realm oracle by Colette Baron Reed. So Libras, this is for you for the whole month of May. And may I just say that, May is a 5 month in a 6 year, which 5 plus 6 equals 11. 11 is a master number, but generally you don't break them down or anything. But in this case, the 11 becomes 1 and 1, which is 2. So if there are people interested in romance, I think you are definitely in a position, and no pun intended, and also if you're open and your heart is truthfully wanting that, I really feel like there could be great opportunities with this now Jupiter in Aries. And as I say, look back to the last time it was like, this was in 2010 and 11 when it went from Pisces to Aries. So if you can think back what was happening then, and if there was a similar situation, they're never going to be exactly the same. There are differences in the other planets. But I remember it being a very, very, very financially prosperous year for me, and I've never forgotten it. I looked forward to it, hoping. I've had good things happen in between, don't get me wrong. But it was over and above the other years. There was no mistaking it, and I love it. So your message is the altar priestess. Preparation, prayer, and sacred ritual. Well, that just is, well, that sort of sounds like marriage or some kind of rite of passage, doesn't it? I mean, if not, it also makes me think of that incredibly, deeply intuitive and psychic and, prophetic magic that comes with the Scorpio energy. That's I've known so many Scorpios, and I've been romantically involved with them, and you never forget that. And there's some beautiful feelings about that. They're very magnetizing in a lot of ways, but that's the picture, and I think it's gorgeous. But let me read to you further. I'm just picking up as it being preparation, prayer. Well, prayer is always good. I mean, everyone has their own form, and it doesn't have to be specifically religious, but you know where I'm going with that. I think it's really another way to almost meditate, right? Only I believe what I've heard is prayer is when you ask, meditation is when you're listening and receive. Anyway, 39. So 3 plus 9 is 12, and that becomes a 3, and that's about growth and expansion and mastery, really. So there can be some incredible changes. You may not see them coming. The eclipses can bring in and out things just in a heartbeat. And I might add that Uranus, the planet of unpredictability and complete surprises and technology and amazing new inventions and things that will help the world as a whole, it has been in the sign of Taurus, we're in the Taurus season, and Taurus was the eclipse season now. It would be, you know, Taurus and Scorpio eclipses through all, I don't remember exactly when, forgive me. I think it's at least through May of next year. So we have 2 more at the end of the year, and then again through, I think, about May, and then it changes again. So sacred, boy, sacred and all that wonderful stuff. 39. Yeah, a lot of 3s have been happening in a lot of different ways. I love the multiples of 3. The stage is set and the world is waiting for you to take your place in sacred meditation and prayer. As your ally, the altar priestess brings the ritual of reverent interaction with the mundane world. You become required now to see everything as sacred, all of life as a meditation, and every action as a prayer of devotion. When you're able to perceive the world in this way, your question will lead you to the appropriate answer. It is all sacred. How can anything be wrong? If all is sacred, how can anything be wrong? And ask how you can shift your consciousness to see your circumstances through the eyes of the divine, and you will realize how perfect and sacred everything is right this moment. And I can't really emphasize enough how the present moment is absolutely the most powerful. So if you can, another wonderful, beautiful, spiritual, uplifting tip I would like to share with you is to invite you to just work every day on being present, even if it's for a second, you know, and then that second becomes 2 seconds, and you're not thinking about yesterday, and you're not thinking about what's going to happen next, and you're so immersed in this moment. And it's so powerful that you can create things just, I guess the term instant karma, you know, what goes out comes out, what you think will become. It's just, once again, the synchronicity, all the spiritual sacred aspects will just come and probably blow you away in a lot of ways, Libra. Even you, which are, you know, you're also very psychic. I know I can be very psychic. I think we all are. But don't be surprised if that kind of really is building in you, your spirituality, your choice in your belief systems and things that are very spiritual. I am also going to read to you right now. I just pulled this out. I felt the need to from the beginning of the readings, and it is the Motivation Manifesto deck. And I pick a card, and it basically is your special motivational saying, you know, phrase. It can be your mantra or your affirmation for the month of May. All greatness teeters on whether a would-be hero overcomes the terror within and advances. I can't even talk. I'm so sorry. All greatness teeters on whether a would-be hero overcomes the terror within and advances regardless. There's that Pluto influence too, because, you know, with the Capricorn from the beginning, digging deep, yeah, we can be our worst enemy, but just allow ourselves to accept ourselves and say, I'm absolutely enough. And if I need to change this particular thing, it'll be because I make that choice, and it'll be for my best interest. And that's the thing to really, in this present moment. So I love that. I think that's a great saying to hold, you know, within your heart and to repeat as often as you'd like. The terror within and advances regardless. I mean, there's such gratification in facing our fears, you know, and the fear is, once again, just what our mind makes up. We don't really know if that's what the outcome will be or how it'll work out. We may have had experiences in the past that remind us and so forth. But I love that for you. So let me finish with your rune for the day or the month. And I will pick it from this beautiful velveteen bag. And I like to call this like the cherry on the sundae, because it tends to really, you know, a lot of times it's very congruent with the readings. Almost frighteningly so, because I don't know, it just is. So this reminds you of the boomerang, and I'm not sure at all what this is, but I will absolutely let you know because I've got my flashcards. It's like a V almost. I've certainly gotten this enough and my mind is a complete blank. I'm not going to lie to you. I would love to say Gibo, but no, that's the X. Okay, just thought I'd give it a try. So let's find that beautiful boomerang for you. And let's see what all the references are for you and how it ties into everything we've been saying. Now wait, this could be it. It looks like it could be, but somehow that looks almost a little too perfect. Let me see if there was a second one. I feel like there was. Bear with me because there aren't that many to go through. And yeah, maybe I'm wrong about that. I just feel like there was something a little bit different. Nope, that's it. Okay, so here we go. Okay, Knez. Now that's a K. See, I would never think that. All I can tell you about that is it's the K without the stem on the other side. So that's another way for me to have an association with it. I'm going to work so very hard and put this on my third eye and continue to use these flashcards, and if I hope you don't mind, to let that absorb and soak into my psyche, because I love the runes, and I want to be a very proficient reader and know the meanings. So Knez or Kano. And the theme, well, it's rune number 6, and that is the Venus number 1, which is very potent this month, and then also we're in the 6th year. The theme is torch, fire of knowledge. Of course, you got to have the fire there with the Aries. Perfect. Very synchronistic. Keywords: enlightenment, knowledge, education, passion, sexuality on fire. Woo! Okay, I think we talked about that with Scorpio. In addition to, Aries is no slouch. Let me tell you, there's a lot of passion with Aries. If you've not known one, and I'd be surprised if you haven't, because you would know them. They are known. You will know them when they walk in the room. They are not shy a lot of times, although my dad was an Aries and he was shy. He still was very proficient at what he did, and he knew what he wanted to do. And I just love this so far. So, magical working, gain insight and knowledge. That would be from the Scorpio, because you're going to dig deep and you're going to continue to learn and grow, especially when you ask for that raised energy or passion. Lighting a beacon. Key phrases: knowledge, expertise, enlightenment, passionate interest, lust, desire, sexual urges, adult in nature. Okay, can I just say, unless I'm going completely crazy in my mind, because it's possible, the last 3 readings have been predominant, and they've been different runes. I know that yesterday's was, or not yesterday's, it only uploaded today, Monday's was this. And what does it say here? Send positivity, blah, 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 sexual harmony, sexual ecstasy. Not all of them have that, but those are the ones that keep coming up. And I, for one, am open to it. I don't know about you, and even if it's with somebody you've been with a long time, maybe something's just going to happen and you're like, wow, there's a different level. It's all part of our beautiful existence. I say that's a fabulous little addition to the month. So I honestly hope you've enjoyed this, and I love being here with you, as I said. Have a beautiful, beautiful month, and just really embrace this energy that'll be with us for a while. But as I said, take it in the moment and just let it fill every cell in your body, and utilize it to the best of your ability, and allow it. Most importantly, allow it, okay? And yeah, thank you so much. I will be here in June. I hope you will as well. And until then, bye for now.